and this is our winners finals match between WMD and FFRPro21. Now it's going to get a little bit more difficult. The starting level will be a choice between level 15 and level 18, and this set will be best of 5. Both of these players placed very well in the AGDQ tournament, and FFRPro in particular was the only person at the AGDQ tournament to reach the kill screen. So we should see some very high scores from both of these players. And this is one of those cases where WMD just got a little bit too greedy with the well, stacking a little bit too high for a Tetris, and maybe should have started burning earlier. And that's a real danger in this game.
Yeah, the aggressive playstyle really just doesn't suit WMD, at least based off the previous matches that we just saw. With your mention of FFRPro, he's probably, based on his other puzzle game skills, he's very fast at hyper tapping. Most of his PPL matches and everything like that have to do with his quick D-pad skills. So in a game like this, where the faster you can tap, the better you can place, his thumbing skills are just super advantageous compared to other players who need to maybe abuse the dash or just kind of play as fast as the game lets them. In this case, FFR can maybe play a bit faster than the game normally would allow him.
And that's one of the key skills to be able to reach the kill screen at all, because if you're not familiar with being able to hyper tap, or you're not very good at hyper tapping, one missed dash charge will result in a top out at level 19.
It looks like the names are swapped on us here, so in actuality, FFR was the one who topped out. Well, now the difference in playstyle makes a little bit more sense here.
And even though Tom is down 2 games, this is not over. This is not over yet, because this is a finals, so this is a best of 5.
It looks like with these short games that he's having, he's maybe not warmed up properly to play it, even though it is fairly late in the tournament. I mean, depending if matches were going on 1 by 1 or anything like that. Even just a little bit of a break can kind of mess you up a little bit, so...
Oh, absolutely. And I believe the way the match schedule worked out in this tournament, Tom did have a very large break in between some of his matches towards the end of the tournament. And the higher starting speed is actually going to mean that there will be less lines available.
Just jamming it to this music right now. Turns out Russians have some pretty decent folk songs when you digitize them. Who knew?
Oh, no kidding. Just anything well done, anything 8-bit that's well done is just jam-worthy.
Except this tune. This tune I'm not a fan of. This tune just makes me want to go to sleep. Looks like, even though FFR did have a little bit of a rough two first games right there, he is significantly ahead in score right now, and actually behind lines in comparison to WMD, who in the last match was, in comparison to Poochie, he was the slower player. In this case, FFR is behind and ahead in score. That's a deadly combo right there.
And it's pretty significant too. It's a couple of Tetrises. And Tom is also one of the players in this tournament that does hyper tap at the higher levels, so his survivability is going to increase greatly, as opposed to WMD, who has been relying on just dassing the entire tournament. And it's being able to hyper tap to be able to play at the higher levels, such as 18 and 19.
One of the interesting things right there.
But it does look like we have some pretty clean play fields.
Yeah, it was just interesting that with FFR, it wasn't actually an edge well. It was 3 or 4 columns in, maybe 2, and that was normally don't kind of see that gameplay. You generally want to stick everything onto the very edges there, but it's maybe some of his more modern Tetris gameplay where you try to do the center well kind of coming in there.
And some of you who have watched the classic Tetris tournaments before may be wondering why both players are getting different pieces. That's actually that was due to some software and hardware limitations that we had on site. This is something that we are looking to resolve for future tournaments, to be able to make this tournament a little bit more fair for the runners, and not having to just have matches decided by one person getting better RNG. But both of our players right now about 20 lines away from the transition. Tom's stack's significantly cleaner. Although Tom getting severely droughted for an eyepiece does manage to tap the J over to be able to make a couple more lines, but is in a lot of trouble right now.
Oh, he did not manage to get that eyepiece there, so he tops out. But the thing is, he had less lines and a higher score, and WMD has more lines and a lesser score, so the pressure's on currently.
I do like Tom's score in this match, though. 280,000 even.
Yeah, just perfect.
So WMD, a Tetris or 2 away from moving on to Grand Finals. But setting up for a Tetris at this high of a level can be pretty nerve-wracking, just because any mistake can be fatal.
I mean, he's 2 lines away from level 18, so if he doesn't make it a Tetris, he's gonna... Or actually, I can't count, I'm sorry. Well, no, he's on
he
level
has
18.
12 more. He has 12 more lines before hitting the 19 transition.
Yeah, so
But
19's
getting just triples won't make it there. There has to be a Tetris.
Yeah, he's running out of time to be able to pull this off. Now he has the well, he just needs the piece.
And does manage to make it over just in the nick of time, transitioning to level 19 and overcoming Tom by about 9,000 points. What a match. That was a pretty exciting last game.